Salut people from all around the world, it's Ellie and today we're gonna try to bring back my sourdough starter from the dead. It has been sitting in the fridge for almost an entire year. Last year I just for some reason stopped making bread and I have this levain, this sourdough starter that I really loved using, that I just put into the fridge so it could like sleep and stay there until I find the motivation to make bread again. And I live in France, so we have very good bread. But I have to say that when I was making my own bread, the taste was just, it was like the best bread I ever had in my life. And I was making bread for almost an entire year and it was kind of a habit. It just becomes second nature. People who say making bread takes time, I would say they're wrong. I would dare to say they're wrong. In the beginning, yes, because you have to understand how it works, when to feed it, when to use it, when to discard it. And once you have learned how it works, it becomes second nature because you just know you have to feed it, then you use it, and then you just put it in the fridge. And bam, you put your bread like 30 minutes into the oven and it's all done. It's very easy. And also it saves you a lot of money. So today, if you want to see how to bring back your sourdough starter back to life, we're gonna do that together, and I hope that by tomorrow I have a nice homemade loaf of bread. So usually you keep feeding your sourdough starter with what you have fed it from the beginning. With that said, you can use any flour. I just don't know how it will work for gluten-free because this is a gluten sourdough. So it has built up something called Hooch on the top. It's this black liquid. It's basically just alcohol that your sourdough produces in the fridge to protect itself. The first step when you bring back your sourdough starter from the dead, as I like to call it, you take it out of the fridge. Alright, I have stored my sourdough starter in a jar that is used for jam. It was clean, it was sterilized before I put it in the fridge. First thing, we're gonna check the lead. So as you can see, it has a little bit of marks, but it's just alcohol. It's not any kind of mold. It's all clean, it's all good. Now let's check the inside. So what is around is just some dry flour, and you can see inside the liquid, inside the hooch, there is nothing floating. No mold, no weird colors, it's just black. It's just liquid. And underneath there is the sourdough starter, which looks fine to me. So the answer to our question is this sourdough is all good to be used. It's safe, it doesn't have any spoilage or mold. We're gonna just let it sit into the corner for a few hours, probably 3 hours or something like this. I will just let it here, not in the direct sunlight, just somewhere in the kitchen, not too close from the stove or the oven. And once it has risen a little bit in temperature, we're gonna discard the hooch. As you can see, there was a change of outfit. It's the next day. It was actually unproductive for me yesterday to feed it right before going to bed. Because if my sourdough rises after the first feed, I wanna use it today to make my first loaf after a year. If it doesn't rise after the first feed, I will just refeed it tonight or tomorrow morning and try to see if it rises, and then I can use it. The first step is just discarding this black hooch. I will do it in my sink. You can do it in the toilet, it doesn't matter. Perfect. And now let's feed this bad boy. Basically, this is a Le Parfait glass jar. It's a 750 to 875 ml glass jar. I just removed the wire because it was a thing that was opening like this, and that way I just kept the lead and the container. And this is perfect for my sourdough, and then I just put it into the dishwasher whenever I need to clean it. I will link it down below if you're interested to purchase the same one as me. It's linked in my Amazon storefront. I don't remember how much it costs, but this is my favorite glass for sourdough starter. I just use this one for sourdough. I don't use it for other things, so it's not contaminated. And you can use whatever you have on hand, but it's best if you don't have any wires around. Now with that said, I would usually tell you to feed it with a ratio of 100 grams of sourdough starter, 100 grams of filtered or mineral water from a water bottle, or boiled water that you just left cool down. But today I would like to feed it at a 1-to-2 ratio because I want to have enough sourdough starter to make a loaf of bread and sourdough bagels. I'll just crap off. Now that the sourdough starter has been fed for the first time in almost 12 months, I'm going to keep it in the kitchen. It's very important to not store your sourdough starter near to a direct source of heat. So not a heater, not an oven, nor a stove. I'm not planning on using mine, which is next to where I have just set my sourdough to rise, if you're wondering. And my little tip is to use an elastic to just kind of know if it has doubled in size or not. I'm going to let it here for maybe 3 hours, and we'll just keep an eye on it to see if it starts to bubble. I hope for the best, but I'm not expecting it to work or rise after one feed, you know. So see you in a few hours. It's the third day of the entire process. It was the first feed yesterday and it did not work. It just started to create a few bubbles, but as you can see, the glass is clean. It did not rise at all. Just a few bubbles created themselves inside. So it means it's still active. It just needs probably more food, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna reuse the same jar. I'm just going to use 150 grams of this. And this time I will do a 1-1-1 ratio. Do 150 grams of levain, so sourdough starter, 150 grams of flour, and 150 grams of water. And now it's about 5 p.m. So I do expect that if it rises, it will do so before probably 9 p.m. I hope so. If it doesn't start to rise after the second feed, it's okay, I'll do a third feed tomorrow, and so on and so on. But I do think it's going to work on the second time. It's just that it needs a bit more food and a bit more time. It's okay. And this will be discarded in the toilet. We have an active sourdough starter again after a year. Today I'm going to make my first loaf of bread in a year. If you want the ratio, I'll put it in the down bar in the description box. That was the word I was looking for, and you can just recreate it. And I hope that you like this video. I'm so happy that I was able to bring this back to life at all. I wasn't sure if it would work, but the answer is yes. It's all bubbly and healthy.